Social media influencers are narcissists, especially the ones on Instagram. I'm talking about those who have little to no talent, but because of their good looks, they share photos of themselves as much as humanly possible in a never-ending campaign of self-promotion. I use the term narcissist very loosely, and I'm not trying to say they have narcissistic personality disorder, more that they share key narcissistic traits. These traits include repeatedly displaying self-superiority, excessive showing off, and basically having a messiah complex. There's been a few studies on this. It's a real thing. Social media was said to be a place for connecting with people and building communities. But instead of that, influencers use social media to simply broadcast themselves. I'm not talking about the influencers who promote their art, whether that be music, dancing, comedy, or something else that's unique or requires a lot of skill. I'm talking about those who just want attention for the sake of attention. Now, the reason I called out Instagram influencers specifically is because historically the primary point of Instagram is photos. With apps like TikTok, you tend to find more trendy dances or comedic content, so a platform like that doesn't bode well for someone with nothing to offer except for, look at me, I'm pretty. Don't get me wrong, I'm sure TikTok has its fair share of self-obsessed characters, but at least they're doing something interesting or something that isn't easy to pull off, so I'll give them credit for that. Anyways, let's look at some of the behaviors and traits that I feel make you a narcissistic influencer. First up, excessive selfies. We'll take selfies now and again, but you'll notice these particular influencers will take more selfies than any other type of photo. Even if they travel somewhere, a huge part of that reason to travel is for the photo of themselves at whatever place they're in. And the focal point in the photo is always them, not the landmark behind them. They are the centerpiece of each photo. To be an influencer is not as easy as it looks, especially if you don't have any talent. If you're just attractive, it's going to be tough to gain a huge following, unless you post a lot of pictures. The more you post, the more likes and followers you get, so they just keep posting to feed their ego. Second, needless shoutouts. We've all seen them. Happy birthday posts for parents who aren't even on Instagram. The parents likely won't even know the post exists. Let that sink in. It's as if they sent a postcard to everyone they know to talk about how special their mom is, but the mom doesn't even see it. Is the reason for the postcard because they want to say happy birthday to their mom, or they want all their friends to see them saying happy birthday to their mom and in return receive praise for it? I'm going to go with the latter. If they had simply made the gesture to their mom, who would know? Apart from, well, their mom, but what's the point in that? They need everyone to know that they are wishing their mom happy birthday and that they are awesome for doing that. It's saying, look at me everyone, I love my mom. This one is probably the least narcissistic, but it's a pet peeve of mine, so I had to call it out. Thirdly, every event is a hashtag opportunity. It's impossible, and I mean impossible in every sense of the word, for these influencers to not post about any event, big or small, and usually they'll post with their face in the picture because, hey, why miss an excuse to remind their friends that they're good looking? These opportunities for self-promotion even spill over into world tragedies. Let's say the recent earthquake in Turkey or the protests in Iran. They will use events like these to give their thoughts, sometimes with a cheesy quote, to show their support. Now, are they using the tragedy for self-promotion? Who's to say? But you can't deny that it's great self-PR to show everyone they know that, hey, I support this protest, or people dying is sad, and now I'm sad. This isn't information that everyone in their lives needs to know. Instead of sharing news articles or links to charities, the first thing they want to do is give their personal opinion. And this opinion usually isn't something out of the ordinary. The point of it is, look at me. Here's a tragedy, and I want to insert myself into the context of this tragedy for the reason of, you guessed it, self-promotion. Okay, I saved the best for last. Next up, we have charity for likes. This applies to all social media platforms. Someone suffering from poverty gets things that they need, like cash, and the influencer gets likes and attention. Win-win. But doesn't this negate the meaning of the word charity? I would describe charity as giving for the sake of giving. On the surface, they're heartwarming. The homeless person is obviously extremely thankful, and the influencer is seen as a savior. Giving a homeless person hundreds or in some cases thousands of dollars isn't going to change that person's life, but the influencer sure as hell gets a lot of likes and engagement on social media. The big winner here is actually the influencer. If they keep making content about giving stuff to homeless people, and in turn they receive more exposure with every video, eventually they can end up very wealthy. They can make 10 times the amount of money that they gave to all the homeless people in their videos. There's plenty more examples like the high following to low follower ratio on Instagram. They'll follow you, so you follow them, and then they unfollow you. They'll keep doing this, and eventually the follower count will be a lot higher than the following count, which I guess raises their social status in some way. Bottom line is, these influencers are addicted to being validated on social media, which reward their vanity. It's a negative feedback loop that they're most likely oblivious to, or they're aware but don't care, because to them, they must be doing something right since they have a large following. That's all I got for now. Let me know what you think in the comments.